Oh, this is live?
Not live, like not like people aren't watching us as we're talking.
Wait, no, I see myself, right? Hi.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you did there. Welcome to the Get Offset podcast, though. My name is Emily.
And my name is Andrew.
And it's going to be the first time that people are going to be seeing you doing the pod. Because I'm usually in the videos, though you did do an intro for a demo pedal.
I
demo.
did, yeah. But good gravy. Like, is now a bad time to say I probably should have worn pants today?
I mean, nobody can see.
Unless I like stand up to like stretch out my legs. I do that sometimes.
During the recording?
Yeah, like I'll just stand up and stretch my legs. Or like I've got this handy dandy, so I'll be like, whoop. I'll just stand up and talk to it. Is that weird?
So that's what that sound is.
So like I'll do that sometimes, or like I'll go on mute and like. I mean, sometimes these are long episodes. Sometimes I have a mason jar and I really have to pee, and now I can't do that.
Oh, why don't you just turn around and go over to that litter box for those kitties who's boss?
Yes, there is 2 litter boxes right behind those curtains. And bonus points to anyone who points out, like, timestamp as you see the kitties. The orange one is Princess Poppy, and the calico. I don't know. He's a 17-pound beast. His name is Prince Percy.
Prince Percy.
He's huge. Timestamp as you see him. But they've definitely been running around today.
Mm. Yeah, I saw them a little bit when we were just chatting about life. But it's October, which means your color scheme finally is seasonally appropriate.
It is. I mean, it's always appropriate, but
it'll be especially appropriate through Thanksgiving.
It will be more appreciated by the masses, which means this is a great opportunity for me to evangelize my love of orange to all peoples.
Like, you don't do that every single week.
But now it's socially acceptable, right? It's Halloween.
It is. Well, I think that some people would say it's always acceptable to like what you like.
I mean, some of our favorite things are orange. Let's be honest. Candy corn. It's a good start.
No, dude, no.
Let's see here. Pills. That's a good start. What else is orange that we like? Traffic cones.
Do I have anything orange in view? I can barely turn
my Jennings. I don't know. I'm just having fun. Like, I'm just like looking for anything orange to grab. My trash can. My trash can is an orange bucket.
Yeah, those Home Depot buckets that cost like $5 or whatever.
Yeah.
I got so mad when I went to Home Depot. I'm like, do you have like a bag? And they're like, no, we have a bucket you can buy for $5. I'm like, I'm just going to make a few trips.
Yep.
Out of spite, because screw you. That's rude. I hate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's red.
That is
Make
red.
Noise Not War mug from Metaverse Electronics. You wore your Metaverse shirt the other day. I saw.
I did. I wore it on Wednesday, and I woke up and I looked at my wardrobe. I'm like, what would be appropriate to wear today that reflects my mood? But that's not like people are going to be like, can you wear that? Even though I'm working from home, just in the off chance that have to take a video call like this, and then like a couple hours later,
don't you have like an emergency button up or sweater or something?
I just moved it, but yeah, I do. Where did I move it to?
I've got my emergency sweater.
I have an emergency polo. It's a wrinkle-free polo, and
nice.
I think it was time to put it through the wash. I think it was time to put it through the wash this time.
Nice.
But there's usually one sitting right on top of my amp, because that's the place to put wrinkle-free polos, is on amps. Not beer. No beer on the amp, just wrinkle-free polos.
Things of which I have been guilty. Not on your amp. Not on your amp.
I mean, yeah, I don't think I've put a drink on there since I put the first beer I used to christen it just on top of the amp for about 3 minutes for a photo, and then gently removed it. Never again.
Never again.
And the can of beer was orange. Georgetown Bohizava.
Oh, this is orange. My can of mimosa.
You need to up your game, young lady.
Why?
More orange. It's October. You have no excuse.
Look how orange that is.
That
Damn.
is. I can see that, but.
And going into my limited edition super rare.
My can is also
I
orange.
bleep the words. Yes. Oh, it's a high. It's like a caffeinated talking rain. Very
It
nice.
is a caffeinated talking rain. I don't have just one, but I have two. So I've got double the amount of orange cans than you.
Jeez, dude, I'll worry about you.
And like I've got one orange guitar, but if you think about it, Sunburst has orange in it, so that makes for another three
Oh,
behind
I
me.
didn't tell you. I'm getting a sunburst. I ordered a Squire Base 6.
Nice, nice,
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Yeah, Rick expressed interest, and when my husband expresses interest in like guitar stuff, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nilsa has also been expressing interest, and we're exploring what it would look like to join up as a team between this endeavor right here on my head with
Fox
brand
Capo,
new. Look, it's
cute. It's
the
floppy.
it's the floof. It's the fluff ball.
The
I'm a
puff.
cat.
The warmth is in the puff. The palm. Actually, it's called a palm.
It's a palm. There we go.
The warmth is in the palm, as my friend Katie Cool Guy says.
But if you ever see me just do this like in the middle of the podcast, I swear it's just because I've spent too much time with cats.
I was about to say, are you a cat? Are you?
I think I'm not, but I'm still waiting my 23andMe results back. And
Did you do that?
no, I'm not giving them my DNA.
I did that.
I'm
My whole
slightly
family did that. It was interesting. We are all from the exact same places in Europe. How surprising!
slightly
A
paranoid.
lot of West Virginia, which I'm proud of. I'm from Ohio, but I'm proud of that Appalachian heritage. West Virginia separated from Virginia because they didn't want slavery, and everyone makes fun of West Virginia, but they were an abolitionist state, and I think that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I'm a fan of that, but
Historically
I'm
speaking.
not likely to actually do one of those willingly.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know.
23andMe doesn't give your DNA to what are they called?
The
Like
government
FBI.
to the
They
pigeons.
say
It's the watch
no,
pigeons.
but they have caught some very very bad guys through the less less reputable ones, I guess. Like Joseph the Golden State Killer, Joseph something D'Angelo.
Yeah, look. So I mean, I jaywalked a couple years ago, and I would really hate for that to come back to bite me.
You know,
I've gotten away.
it's not really illegal in Seattle.
Oh,
Did
I
you know
didn't know
that?
that.
Yeah,
I,
there's only one instance where it's truly really illegal. And if you're like downtown and your block is flanked by stoplights,
Mhm.
then you're not supposed to jaywalk. But if it's any other like any other street, every intersection's a crosswalk in Seattle. So technically, at any intersection, cars are supposed to give pedestrians the right of way. And crossing in the middle of the street is not a crime unless you don't yield for the car, and then it's not the car's fault. Like in the middle of if it's not an intersection, it's only illegal if you get hit, basically.
All right, then I regret having canceled my annual Frogger competition.
Human Frogger. Jeez, dude.
We only lost 3 people last year,
God.
and we call that Darwinism. That's really the human race is better off that way. So,
Oof, the dude. Stop it.
they hadn't
Stop.
they hadn't reproduced yet.
Stop it.
You
Stop
say stop,
saying
I'm going to
these
keep going.
things. Good God, you predicted everything.
I don't know. Maybe I should start buying lottery tickets because I feel like the things I say offhandedly, it's never the things I think about. I'm like, if okay, now that's gonna like it's always the things I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if we had a plague?
No, it would not.
And
That
then
was
we
never
did.
funny.
It was a little funny, but
It was
it's
not.
less
Right
funny
away, I
now.
was like, that's
But it's
awful.
also more funny now because of how not funny it is. It's a coping mechanism. I'm laughing because it's sad.
So, what's new with you other than your attire?
That is new. What's new with me? I have been okay. So I've been going strong with with this snazzy design, courtesy of Joe Braga, and that's been selling.
That's like the vintage like little drinky cups from Taco Bell.
Sure.
I think that yeah, it's modeled after the jet. Just because why don't you just show people?
Let's see here. Let me grab.
Visualize.
I am going to do this carefully. Leave it to me to just like drop it. All right, so
Yeah,
right there, the
that's
DoD volume
yeah.
is the topper. I've got that for a whole bunch of different units, and
Mhm.
a whole bunch of them are behind me. The one I'm really excited for. Let me set that down.
Get back on the mic.
The one that I'm really excited to see that for a unit that I don't personally own, but a customer ordered one, is the Helix. Cannot wait for that to arrive and to see the photos, the customer photos of that. That would make me incredibly happy.
Nice.
But no, seriously, that's been selling really well. I think that's, if that hasn't already passed up my numbers on the best selling design yet, it's coming close. So I'm actually super psyched on that, and I've got other designs coming out, and I'm feeling pretty good about some of the stuff I've got in the works. Kind of just filling out some really basic designs. I think
Good.
the last week when we were talking with Mrs. Smith and talking about nostalgia and the it kind of really sparked like this, like, oh man, like that's exactly kind of what I've been thinking, but I just needed someone to say that out loud to kind of just like really lodge that in my brain and for it to rattle around. And so I've been really thinking on that in the last week and wondering like what I I'm getting so discombobulated here. So like art's so important though, right? Like art's super important. It's a great form of communication. It's able to do so much. It for art that we collectively know and love and understand. There's kind of that unity, that nostalgia, and a lot of the things we talked about last week with Mrs. Smith. And I'm realizing that part of the reason why I've been internally really hesitant to just start launching designs in the shop just for the sake of having something in there is that just if there's not a good reason to have the design there, it feels weird for me.
Yeah.
'Cause I've probably got 10 ish, maybe 15 ish just designs that I've got laying around that have kind of sketched together or that I could probably release at some point, but none of them really hit that like resonates. Like I feel the need that I need to make this part of the brand, part of the image, part of the messaging that we're sending out, part of the story. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've really been sitting on that this week. And really happy with how I think the schnazzy topper fits into that. And now that I'm really kind of boiling down and trying to figure out what's coming up next, I'm really kind of excited to take that to the next level. So
Nice.
that's one part of it. The other part of it is boom. I have a shirt.
Merch.
It is swell with my soul.
Merch. There it is.
And unapologetically a phenomenal gear pun. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
pretty
good one.
excited about it.
I can admit it's good once you
It's
explained it to me.
it's got that nice blend of kind of the callback to an old Christian hymn that uh, you hear in both Christian and non-Christian contexts. It's just kind of one of those timeless classic songs. And then just, swells are cool. I like
Yeah.
swells. So it's kind of like a nice, like Christian, but also universal kind of just really happy. We all love this kind of a feeling. So, and I think the idea of just like it is swell with my soul just feels so peaceful. And I just need more of that this year. And I can't
Yeah.
imagine I'm the only one. So
Can I say, like, talking about swells, I've had a couple volume pedals,
mhm.
and this is going to sound so freaking weird to say. Like, I had a Mission volume pedal. I have a little, I think it's called Mojo, but it's just like the most petite of the volume pedals.
Uh-huh.
But the Ernie Ball VP Junior Tuner,
Yep.
that's got the smoothest swell. Like, I'm like, oh, I freaking get it. Like,
Yep.
oh my god, it was night and day. It was just so different.
Yes.
I love that thing. I know you're gonna get one too. But
Yes.
and I know that like you said like, oh, I don't see the point in having like the levels visible.
Mhm.
I've only played one show with it, and I loved that feature.
All right.
Oh, well, I loved it because it works for how I play.
Right, exactly. That's what gear should be. Gear should be there to serve you and to help you create music.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've got, let's see here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 volume pedals right now.
Whew.
And
But you need them because it's part of your R&D and your
it,
your
yeah,
product shots.
definitely part of all of that. But it's also given me a chance to like side by side through several different units, all the way from an old Goodrich, which is vaguely dated in the 90s, for the unit I've got. So not as old as I am, and all the way up through like stuff that I've bought this year that's available in the market right now, and just seeing the difference in the feel, and it makes me so mad. I haven't tried the one that I've heard that replicates that quality feeling that the VP Junior has is the Lele, and I haven't got my hands on that yet. That's going to be one of my next purchases. But as far as like the sub 200 category, you just can't beat the feel of the VP Junior. I hate it because it's got that string, but you just can't beat it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Oh, God, I wish I remember off the top of my head when I was talking to Robert Randolph for a Reverb.com article I wrote about pedal steel players. He was just waxing poetic about this volume pedal. I looked it up later, and it was like a $500 or $600 volume pedal. I'm like,
You
maybe later.
better be waxing poetically
Yeah,
about
I'm
that.
like, that better be the best damn volume pedal on the planet.
Yeah. No, I think what's the Lele coming in at these days?
Are you bouncing your leg up and down?
No.
Okay, because I just feel like there's this little gentle shake that happens sometimes.
Yeah, so the camera's like rested on a laptop that I'm not really using right now.
Yeah.
But if I just
Oh yeah, there it went. There
Yep.
it went. Yeah.
It just enough shake. So the Lele's coming in at $300 from Sweetwater.com, brand new. But there's no string. I want to say that one's a mechanical or it's a magnetic. There's a invisible field of sorts that gets used for that. And
what if it was like a theremin, like a theremin-esque?
that sounds like what it might be. You know,
that sounds like something Brian from Bookworm would.
Precise magnetic sensor. There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about that. But I mean, $300 is not necessarily accessible, and so that's why I'm always like, if you don't have the money for something super high end, VP Junior for something that, especially for the folks that don't gig that often, it's just really hard to beat. And whenever someone's like, well, what if the string breaks mid set? I'm like, well, that sucks. But there's a really handy dandy workaround. If on the back of it, you got in and out and a tuner out, that tuner out is full volume all the time, no matter what, bypasses the potentiometer. So if you're in the middle of the gig and it just dies on you and it's not all the way forward, you just swap out the cable and to bypass. You don't have to rip the whole thing off the board or go like, does anybody have a 12-inch patch cable? I need a 12-inch patch. Like, you don't have to. Yeah. No, that's not necessary.
That's good to know, honestly.
It's super handy, and I've seen it. I say this now. I haven't had a VP Junior string break on me yet, but I've seen it happen for other people.
Never say that. Never say that.
Calm down. Let me help you. Okay, we're good. Finish the gig.
Gosh, sorry. I just got memories of one time we were playing in Portland, and so a few practices before Portland, our bassist Isaac broke one of their bass strings, and it was like the first time that had ever happened for them. No,
impressive.
It was during a gig. We were playing with Joey from Leneve, and their bass string broke, and then we were going to Portland, and Jenna was like, the first band, one of them broke a string, and Jenna was like, I don't know how y'all break strings. I've never broken a string. Moments into the first song, she broke a string. So I'm like, never, ever say that's never happened to me, because that is just asking for it.
I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious, and that sounds like you're asking for it.
Yeah. You gonna ask what's new with me?
I was about to say that, and I was like, I'm just gonna get one last sip in.
One last chug.
Chug. I swear there's no vodka in there. So what's new with you?
Oh my God, so much is new with me, Andrew. It's been a weird week.
Should I just
Um,
like kick back and
so yes, as we're filming this yesterday, that would be Friday the 2nd, the guitar.com live virtual trade show and guitar conference started off. And my panel, Perfecting Your Pedal Board, which I did with Eric from Living Room Gear Demos and Grant from Goodwood Audio, went live. So that was fun. You can watch, anybody can watch that now.
all right. If you had to,
Yeah.
without spoiling the reason that we should all go and watch it, like what's something that like really like might have been surprising? Like draw me in. Give me a reason to go spend part of my weekend to watch this.
Well, Grant from Goodwood Audio has some pretty heated opinions about tuners and about pitch shifting pedals, especially.
All right. And he's Australian, right?
He's not Australian. He's Canadian. He moved to Australia. And then, as everyone I've ever, like, he visited Australia. And as most of the people I know who have ever visited Australia has happened to them, he met a person and he fell in
Mm.
love with that person and he moved there. That's happened to 3 women I know. 3 women I know have just like gone for vacation in Australia or the Cook Islands, met an Australian man, and just been like, I'm going to stay here. 3.
I
Man,
mean, it's the
I
accent. It's got to be the accent, or
think that's
or
part of
or
it.
the relative resemblance to Hugh Jackman. I think it's one of those two things. Just
A handsome
immediate
man.
sex appeal.
He's a handsome man. He's a very talented singer. He's a showman. Like, he is just like an old school showman.
He is. He is indeed.
Yeah,
Um,
but as one of the things I got for doing the panel was, let me just don't pull out
reach,
my in-ears.
reach.
Reach.
Wait, wait. It's got a cable in it. It's got a cable. Oh, it's. Is that what a lovely cardboard box?
Oh, come on, dude. It's
I'm kidding. I'm
the
kidding.
Harmony Model 4818 reissue. It's a little 5-watt amp,
Yeah,
just the volume knob,
nice.
and 2 inputs. It's tube. Look, a sweet little baby tube amp.
I love it.
It's so cute and little.
I assume this is going to be yet another piece of gear that I'm not going to be able to steal from you indefinitely.
You're not gonna be able to steal it all. This is
Dang
mine.
it.
It's mine.
Well, consider me jealous, and congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
I'm happy for you, but I want one.
I also have a couple other pedals. Like, I'm a little bit behind in my demos because, well, not that people can see. Like, people didn't know what this looked like before, but I kind of rearranged my office, and I'm just waiting for my new desk to arrive. And then when my new desk arrives, I'll be more set up to do demos the way I think they should be done. But the first thing on my list is this little sweet little Ghost Ridge by Native
Oh,
Audio.
snap. Look at that.
Yeah, it's cool. It only has 2 knobs, but it has 4 presets and secondary features. So the mix's secondary feature, you hold that down to access it like a Maris pedal,
Yeah.
and then you can set between 4 different kinds of reverb, and then you can set the depth, and then you hold down to set like the amount of modulation in the reverb. So it's really
Oh,
neat. I always think it's slick when they do that. Versus having more knobs, but it's really neat. I like having the 4 presets. So this is probably going to be the first new pedal demo. I also have the Microcosm by Hologram Effects on my list to demo. I have you heard that, didn't you?
mhm.
Doing. I have this app I'm really excited about demoing in tandem with the Tysco interface. And I have some more pickup swaps I'm going to be doing. Oh no.
I will be back ever so briefly if I can figure
Ever
it
so
out.
briefly. Uh-oh. I'm going to take this moment to play guitar. I've been trying to learn. See, I need to move this desk forward. I'm learning lots of new things about this. But part of the reason I changed my setup was because the desk had been against the wall, which I didn't love. But then this corner of the desk was also against the wall, which meant that I had I couldn't play guitar while just sitting in front of my computer very well.
Is this the hold music?
Yeah, sure. That was Caravan. That was that song.
I feel so awaited for.
I'm not going to cut that. Wait,
All right.
hold on. How would you do that?
That's how we do it, right?
Yes.
Like a pretty solid, like Mama Shark impression.
So this week's episode of the Get Offset podcast is sponsored by DistroKid. Woo woo! I have been playing even more with DistroKid. I'm going to do another video about some of their more unique feature set pretty soon. But I just used DistroKid for the first time to schedule a release. So it's pretty neat. Yeah. So I, as I think I mentioned, I was part of this compilation of songs about flowers from people across the globe called Violet. Check out getoffsetpodcast.com. Go to the interviews and editorial section at the bottom of the homepage to learn more about that. But just as an experiment, I uploaded it as a single under my own name. So you can either buy or listen to the compilation, or you can just listen to the single. I recommend listening to the whole compilation. It's lovely, but I just wanted to experiment with that. And sure enough, the day I set to go live, it was in every store I wanted to go live. I gave it maybe about 2 weeks lead time. And it worked really, really seamlessly for scheduling. So that was really fantastic. I didn't have to worry about it. I was like, oh my God, did it happen? Oh, here's all my confirmation that it happened.
Yeah. That actually sounds pretty slick.
And I'm sure you're wondering why we got like 25 emails yesterday.
Yes, I was gonna ask about that. I'm like, my phone's blowing up. And usually, so my phone's been blowing up lately. This is completely off topic, but I'm gonna share it anyways. All right. That's what I do. But no, I got the new Wi-Fi system a couple months ago, and it came with like its own like version of a Bluetooth enabled firewall where it like connects to my phone and gives me alerts when something like someone tries to access a site.
Is it? Yeah, I think I have something similar.
Which I'm like, I don't care enough to disable it. But I don't really need it because I've got other stuff going on for my home private network and IT stuff. Bleh. We'll ignore that part. But it's been blowing up like crazy, and only when my mom and Melissa are playing a game on their phone called Balls, and it's only because like the ads, some of the ad servers that tries to pull up are getting flagged as spam, which is exactly what they are. And so when they try to open it up, it's like blocking it, and then it sends me a notification. But the problem is, like with game apps, you get a fresh set of ads after every round, and a round takes 30 seconds to a minute. So when they play, sometimes it's like it'll go off like 45 times in half an hour. I'm like, make it. So my phone will just be saying zzz, 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 zzz. Which it started to get like a little annoying, and then I realized, wait a minute, I know when they're playing games.
I mean, that sounds really annoying, to be honest.
Well, they're both obsessed with it. I'm like, oh man, I wish like Melissa was like awake right now. And then I just check my phone; it's like buzzing like crazy. I'm like, oh, she's definitely not napping in the back. She's playing games. All right. I got you.
Funny.
Busted.
That's pretty funny. I saw Poppy for a second.
Oh, and then she's Hey, sweetie. No, okay. Fine. Be that way.
Yeah. So do you want to shout the other sponsor, Spun Loud? I mean, you do love orange things. Oh, you're wearing pants. It's Velcro down, you jerk. How dare you Velcro down my pedal?
It's not Velcro down.
Okay, that's fair. It's
I
just
just
on the.
I
It's
soldered my
staged.
cables to the exact right length for every cable, so that it just fits.
Okay? So that's almost worse.
No, because this is where the mount hood was before. So I just
Okay.
pulled the mount hood off and threw this exactly in the chain because it's a fuzz. It's fitting the same purpose as before.
I know we've talked about like how aesthetically appealing this pedal is, but we've never actually been able to show it to people.
I know. It's just I feel bad that I let a little dust get on it just from like being in my. I feel like
Damn, you have your toolbox right there.
it's my workbench. All right, so we're gonna dust this off and then we'll show it off. All right.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
This is the A plus treatment that we give our pedals. We're not even going to give
Give
that to
our
the king of
sponsors.
tone that's sitting right next to it. All right, so this is gravy. I'm going to regret this here soon. All right, ba-da-da.
Look
This
at those
is
beautiful rounded edges, y'all.
the Spun Loud blister and peel. And
Sounds as good as it looks.
before my pinky gives out, I'm just going to set this down. But like go back, pause it, take a quick look at like those nice rounded edges, and you'll understand why I swear it reminds me of Runt's candy. Like those nice
Yeah,
round edges on the it just
we
looks
mean
so
that in
nice.
a good way. We mean that in a good way, Dan.
Oh, that's an absolute like I'm now hungry. I want diabetes. I want to live life to the fullest. And when I say fullest, I mean just like my stomach. And
My God. I
it's
just
just
realized now everybody's gonna see the facial reactions I have when you say something like that.
I'm gonna be able to see the facial reactions. Which you know what that's doing is that's just egging me on.
Oh my God. I loved my favorite comment about the mystery fuzz video that you filmed the intro for was that Emily's face doesn't lie. I'm like, no, it don't. It does not. I wish it did. I can't be like, yeah, that's great. I like that a lot.
I actually haven't sat down to watch the video yet, so I don't know what your take was on the fuzz.
I didn't talk during that demo at all. It was before I was talking during demos. But I think my face spoke more loudly than words. I think at one point I just go, and then I stop the video.
The
I'm
knobs
like,
don't really do anything.
they don't do anything, Andrew. One of them literally does nothing.
I
Literally
know.
doesn't. I don't think it's attached to anything.
It
I
is if
think
you
it's
open it up. It's attached. Did you open it up to take a photo?
no. I did not. I'm sorry to say. It was like I was looking. I'm like, what the hell? Like
No, okay.
it's the leftmost knob didn't do jack squat, and the other knobs did seem to do something, but it was like to get any sound, you had to have them like either like dead in the middle.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have them all the way down or all the way up. It was like backwards or something.
All right, so
Those IEM extenders are working overtime right now. Are you going to open up live?
shoot.
What? No.
I've got a better screwdriver on this one. This multi-tool.
But yeah,
So
so you're in
anyways,
and out fuzz. You really should have used a better microphone to film that video, by the way.
I just used my phone and I figured you'd like normalize it in post, and then I
I
forgot to
did. I tried to fix as much. I fixed it as much as I could.
I was running out of time.
Yeah, I had to remove noise and boost it some.
But yes, I think maybe we start doing this more often. Maybe I should get like a lapel of sorts.
A lavalier mic.
Indeed.
Yeah, I have one. I don't use it very often because just like the SM57 with the launcher sounds a lot better. than the lav mic, but I don't know. I know Zoom makes some really good like lav mic things, so maybe I'll look into that.
All right, so let the record show that there's only 2 screws on the back of this.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So we're just gonna
Is it a scratch board? Kind of.
No. So if you look closely, all of the lines are painted in copper paint lines.
Interesting.
And then the Velcro on the back is just to keep it from grounding out.
Right.
And then
they didn't want to. That's like I forget what those are called, but like normally you just make scratches from one point to another.
Yeah, no, it's not scratch board. It's literally, that is just paint. That is copper paint. And I don't know if I've seen that before on a DIY. So like, this isn't like something that someone populated for fun. Like they had to have like built this out and like really planned how this is all going to go. But if I peel back the Velcro a little bit here, I mean,
yeah, that's interesting. That's a lot of solder. That's some messy. That's like some big.
Oh
oops.
Yeah,
big oops. I'd have been worried like doing that. I'm like, is it actually going to touch the next point there? Because
this was worth all $20 that I spent on it.
Sure,
but I'm yeah. There's definitely stuff in here like that's just a jumper. That's not even a resistor. That's just a jumper because they must have like misdone one of their lines or added something that didn't need to be there. But yeah, got the rainbow fish cap in there. Like there's like one random rainbow fish cap. There's a mustard cap. There's just like some random stuff in here that's just there's a germanium. It's just like it looks like a mismatch of things. They are alpha pots, which are not the worst quality. But yeah,
not the worst. That's a glowing endorsement.
And the closure is an NSC made in China. So, but yeah, no, the knobs, like one of the knobs straight up does like next to nothing. And the volume knob does something and the gain knob kind of takes it from like 90% to 100%. So it really only does one sound. But I think it's kind of a fun sound. Like I'm not going to put it on my main rig, but it's still kind of fun to plug in every once in a while. And you're like, there we go. That is sound. That is something.
Yeah. I mean, it's very Velcro-y. That was a good word that you used.
It's
very quiet. Velcro. It's super freaking quiet.
It sounds great on bass. I don't know if you had a chance to try it on bass.
I didn't do it on bass because I did not want to.
It's, sometimes the nastiest, like most like unfun fuzzes on guitars sound the best on bass to me. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's just something wrong with what my perception of what bass should sound like, but
no, I think that's fair. I think that they're like a woolly mammoth isn't the kind of fuzz that's like for everybody, but it does sound especially cool on bass, I think.
Yeah. So, oh, and the I don't know if you noticed, but the knobs are labeled gain, tone, and volume.
They were labeled? Where were they labeled?
It's labeled on the back, and I don't know if you can even see it. But
no.
It's in like blue pen.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
And then like the knobs, like the direction for where the knobs are,
I did see the scratches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they tried. They tried.
I just want to know who had the audacity to try to sell this for $89.99 at a flea market. Because that's the person that bought it.
Did she pay that much for it?
She didn't say that's how much she paid for it, but I'd be willing to bet she did.
Well, I just would. Okay, so I would hope that you would not you would haggle anything at a flea market down. But from $89, I think like the most you could reasonably haggle would be like $60.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
It depends on whether or not you got $60 worth of enjoyment out of it.
Less than $100, made in America, supporting a small business.
Not all small businesses are worthy of being supported.
But that's kind of stepping in the direction of our topic this week.
Oh, is it? Is that how you're going to pull us into that?
I think that is. So that little fuzz was $89.99 at a flea market list price. Who knows what it actually sold for?
Hopefully not
And
that.
the fact that I bought it for $20 is actually a talking point for later this episode. But we'll talk about getting into that topic. There's a new lineup of pedals from JHS for $99 a pop.
What's the lineup called? I forgot.
Oh God, I should know this.
Oh no. JHS pedals. I know Ryan Burke did some.
3 series because it's got 3 knobs.
Oh, okay. That's creative and
Really
fun.
going out on a limb with the naming convention, but it's simple. It's clear messaging. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, totally. It's about what, 7 pedals?
Yeah, there's 7 pedals that they released. So I think compression, overdrive, distortion, fuzz, chorus, reverb, delay, and something else.
Chorus, compressor, delay, distortion, fuzz, overdrive, reverb. They are all like the exact same enclosure. They're the same color. They're the same layout. Like they all have 3 knobs and a toggle, and input and output on the side, kind of toward the bottom. A lot of empty space in the design, like aesthetically. All have the same font. Like these are something very utilitarian about them. And I think it's kind of an odd choice for them to release such kind of plain looking pedals when I've always thought the fun thing about JHS was like their design was never like complicated, but it was always colorful. It had a fun little graphic on it. Like it was kind of sweet and simple. But they've seemed like with their like Legends of Fuzz series, those were also all the same, like almost identical enclosures. Um like are they just kind of like going more into that vein? Like are they kind of going into, it's like this thing almost utilitarian about it, but not quite.
I mean, it sure seems that they're going that direction. I mean, I can't fully speak to what their business intentions are, obviously, but I mean that's 2 series in a row that's lent that direction.
Yeah, that
And
aesthetic. And those were both like, actually, how much were the Legends of Fuzz series? Were those were affordable, right?
those were affordable. I want to say they were in the ballpark of $100 as well.
Oh no, 179.
I said ballpark.
That's a big percentage difference, dude. That's like an 80% difference.
Yeah, well, if we're talking data for financial forecasting, that's flex room, right?
No, no. But also the 66 series, like those were at least different colors, but they also didn't have really any graphics on them. They use the same knobs, they use the same enclosure. Um, Most of them have the same number of knobs. So I do kind of wonder if they're just kind of going in this more like simplistic sort of aesthetic. And I think, and that's weird to say this, but and it kind of, I don't know why I'm about to say this. When Debbie Ever was at the end of her kind of pedal company journey, she had made some comment about like, I used to really like doing the fun designs, but nobody wants that. They just want like really plain looking pedals, it seems like. And because that's what sold better for her. So I wonder if Josh Scott is kind of experiencing the same thing. Not that any of his pedals were like outrageous looking, but like
I mean,
these are all clearly the same mock-up, is what is kind of like, these are not different photographs of actual pedals. These are literally mock-ups when you look at them. Like look at them all at the same time on the JHS website. They all have the foot switch. The lighting is kind of reflecting off of the top left part of that bolt, and the
uh,
shadows are all
they're
identical.
they're not because the bolt on the foot switch is different rotation on each of the photos.
Not where I'm looking. On the actual website, on the product part of the website?
Yep,
No, I disagree.
that is
They are
demonstrably
all
they're in different.
they're
The
identical.
chorus that's perfectly flat across the top. Then the compressor, you got a point sticking out of the top. That is not the for the rotation of the bolt. That is.
That's not what I'm seeing. I'm looking at jhspedals.info/current pedals.
I'm looking at jhspedals.info.
Oh, dude, you're looking at of course, the hero image is an actual photography shot. They're not just rotating the pedal. I clicked on current pedals.
Okay, let's click on current pedals. Where's
Dude, how dumb do you think I am?
well, I that's why I was confused. Like that's definitely not okay. Yes, these are mock-ups.
Yeah,
I
those are
agree
all
with you.
mock-ups. The product, the official product shots are mock-ups.
I mean, I that's fine.
That's fine. I'm just pointing it
I
out. It's interesting.
that's not abnormal.
No, it's not. It's just interesting to me.
I mean, I don't know. I think it fits a really nice niche, and I've had a little bit of time to think about this, but I mean, so Earthquaker devices really seem to prove that there's a market for like a $99 meat and potatoes effect. Just
From a
I,
boutique brand.
from a boutique, from a brand that you trust. It's made in America. You've got someone on the
Assembled in
other
America at the
line.
very least. At the very least, assembled in America.
Right. I mean, I'm not legally they're calling it made in America. I don't know what to agree that we would agree with that. But I mean, if it meets a legal definition, it meets a legal definition. I'm not one to
I mean, it's
argue.
definitely
There's
like Americans being paid to assemble them. So yeah, sure.
yeah, I mean, you're definitely employing Americans with your purchase. There's no doubt about that.
Totally.
And I think there's something to be said about that
That's cool. I like it. I
from
like
an
employing
economist
Americans.
standpoint. But no, and then you got, I mean, it's a brand that you trust. JHS has been around for a while, and by and large, they've really gathered the trust of a large chunk of the community. And you've got the customer service, you've got all of these things add up, and it seems like for $99, that's such a great value. And Earthquaker did this with the plumes. The plumes is their their new iteration of their attempt or not attempt. They did a phenomenal job, but their take on the Tube Screamer. The first round was the Dunes / the Palisades. Dunes was the single size unit. Palisades was the larger with 3-foot switches. And then this time around, they did the plumes for $99. Everyone's like, "I'm sorry, did you say $99 for a boutique tube screamer?" That according like if I'm listening to Andy's demo right here, like this is making the Vermeerum stuff sound equitable. I mean, this you're why would I pay $400 for something at that level when I could just get this plumes? And so they did a phenomenal job with that. They did some fun stuff with colors. I really like the design they did. They also like the limited edition stuff. I mean, they went all in on it, and I really love what Earthquaker Devices did with that. Now, fast forward, we've got this coming out. This isn't obviously they're not doing like the fun colors that Earthquaker Devices did. At least at this point, they're just opening up with white, but it's just the same kind of it seems to me very similar. It's just this $99 meat and potatoes. This will get you somewhere. This is something for you to make music with. This is very much intended to be a tool and not like the it factor. I've spent $400 on a reverb pedal.
Or 900.
We'll get into that another time. I still don't know how to feel about that.
I feel
But
very happy. I feel very happy for them and a little sad for me. No,
I
but back to
mean,
JHS and then no, I think you're right. I think there's obviously like if you can get like the cool brand and have the sound that you want, that's really neat and cool, and I get it. And I'm sure that part of them being this very basic aesthetic is saving a little bit of money because they're not having to order extremely different. I can't imagine how like what the price difference is. It has to be small, but that can be
it
big
adds
over
up.
large.
If you're trying to get down to a $99 pedal, if you've just got them, all of your enclosures are white powder coated with the same drill enclosure, and then you can have those all delivered and then go through the screen print process for the top.
Do you think they're screen printing those themselves? Because I don't.
Maybe not. I mean, I'm sure that there's a cost saving measure in having them all drilled the
Yeah.
exact same way, powder coated the exact same way, and the screen print is really only mildly different.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
I'm
I
sure it saved
imagine that
money.
I imagine that gets it down to as little as possible
Yeah.
for where they're
Yeah.
at to make room for the margin for this to be a viable business decision.
I like that somebody already made a board of just those pedals. And when I like the moment I saw them, because I've been thinking about people who do like color color block, kind of like color, like they just want all the petals to be the same color, whether that's black or pink or orange. Um, and I'm like, and I've always felt about those boards, I would just get so confused. And this would be more confusing because not only are they the same color, they're aesthetically extremely similar. Like on a dark stage, you would have to have like your signal chain more memorized.
Right.
Because they're the same color, but it has all that empty space. Maybe you put a sticker on it or draw a little something
Maybe
with a
I should
Sharpie.
just make some Fox Cairo label stickers for glowing in the dark and adding some color.
Dude, do that. That's
An
smart.
aftermarket, just a like a straight up square. This is what this pedal is.
Yeah, just like a 1 inch or like 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch square, like one
Yeah.
inch maybe. Like, yeah, do that, dude.
Tell you what, if enough people say I would be seriously interested in that, I might pay someone to design something for me, and I can crank out some samples to send to folks.
Someone like our Patreon supporter, Joe Braga. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can do that at patreon.com/getoffset. We are very close to our $100 Patreon supporter goal. At the $100 level, we will once again read everybody's name out loud who supports. And at the $250 level, I forgot that I did this. At the $250 level, I will record one episode of the podcast legitimately drunk, and I won't edit anything.
And for that, I will be sober, so I will have fun with that.
Yeah, so let me look at. I'm trying to let it get it to
I can
load
see
our
it
new
now. Like,
patrons.
Emily, why is there Emily? There's a giant spider. Emily, you need to kill the spider. Kill the spider now. Kill it. And just watch you freak out.
Watch me die. I told you that story about my cat. I have to pull it up here. Our newest patrons for the Get Offset Patreon program, David Ishizaka pledged $1. Thank you, David. J. Ryan Conklin pledged Conklin pledged $5. Thank you, J. Ryan Conklin. Lauren Kelly pledged $5. Thank you, Lauren. And Dan Morrison pledged $5. Thank you, Dan. That's awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate our patrons.
Right here.
You make it possible and less financially irresponsible for us to do this.
Yeah, starting this podcast is not the most financially advisable thing for where I was in life.
No.
But we did it. We did it. We made it. We're here. And
we've gotten over the hump. We're no longer in the red. We were in the red for about 18 months.
And we appreciate it, like, sincerely on a really deep level.
Yeah, me too.
So
at the $5 Patreon level, you get access to our super secret group chat, which is currently on Facebook Messenger, and you get access to bonus content such as the videos of me soldering pickup swaps, working on things. Oh no, what just happened?
I was just like, I'm gonna pull it up and like because I check the group chat pretty frequently.
I have 81 unread messages.
I have 95, so I must have checked it because I spent the last few minutes before we hopped online to do this, making sure everything was taken care of with the family and getting my own breakfast. And 96 unread messages. It's been a busy Saturday morning, but seriously, we're
There's
pretty
been
active
a lot
in there.
happening in the world. There's been a lot
There has
happening
been
in
a
the
lot
world.
happening.
We're not going to talk about it.
It's not for this episode. It's just not worth it this week.
No.
Let's focus on the happy things in life.
Yeah,
But
so we talked a little bit about the JHS. So
I've got more thoughts on that though.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear them.
So here's my thoughts, and I'm gonna go into like a weird headspace for a moment, and I apologize for the ramble in advance. So $99 for a made in America pedal. And like the argument you can make is like, well, if you're just looking for something super basic that's going to get the job done, why wouldn't you just buy something like a K-Line or a Donner or a Moo, or like something for like they go for like as low as like $25-$30, and they're a small footprint, so you don't have to worry. Like the side jacks don't matter as much, because that would be my one thing with the JHS. I'm like, why did you do side jacks? Why?
Like a lot easier, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. But
Especially with the knobs up where they are.
so no, but seriously, like you could get a mini pedal that's going to do the same job, and that's kind of an argument you could make. But I'm just looking at this, going like, well, first of all, the resale value on those is trash, and if you're anything like the average guitar player, half the fun of getting into the pedal game is buying and selling and trading and just exploring. I mean, that's just there's so much fun to have in that specific realm of like not keeping stuff for forever and trading it around. If you're going to go for the $30 route, you're not you're going to sell that for $10 on Craigslist and drive an hour and a half to sell it. I mean, that's kind of the vibe that I get from that. It's just not worth you're
An hour and a
you're
half to sell it, dude.
of course I'm being a little bit of that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I mean maybe it's not. But
I make people come to me.
for $100, realistically, I could see these reselling for 70 to 90, depending on how available they are and what once these fully hit the market, what the overall like understanding is of how well they are. And I think it's for them. I think they're trying to find that fine line, and I think Earthquaker found it, and they're following suit on that. And because if you look at it, it's like the cheap knockoff brand pedals. Sure, that's not going to do it. But if we look back a few years, TC Electronic did this with their $50 pedal series. Do you remember that? And they're a little bit bulky, but they were top jacks. And they were top jacks. They were a lot of them were. This is right after they got bought up by Behringer, and so a lot of the circuits in there were kind of redesigned or reframed circuits from old Behringer units. And
Yeah.
so there's some familiar sounds. They're tried and true tested. And they didn't sell super great for what I expected them to sell. They came out when I was working at Guitar Center, and that's why I remember it so vividly. Is it was a really mixed
Oh,
response.
I
And
do
then you
remember
went
those,
from
yeah.
some were $50 and then some of them went for $60. And then they just
Were those the ones that you could like get 3 for $100 on Black Friday that year?
yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So it seems like that should have done crazy well because let's be honest, not everyone who's into this hobby is flush with cash. Like we all know Super Rich Steve, flush with cash. Uh, Not everybody is. And we want this to be an accessible industry, an accessible hobby, a community, and you not feel like you have to spend $5,000 and sell your children to participate. And so you would think that like the TC Electronic that fits that nice in between, and somehow I don't see them that often. I certainly don't hear them talked about in any sort of sense of like there's hype. The resale value is trash last I checked. And so it feels like there was a great swing, big miss in terms of trying to fit that niche of I want something good and reliable. Oh, that's the other thing is the foot switches on those had a tendency to just crap out, or sometimes they're just bad out of the box. They're just not great feeling foot switches. I think the JHS ones here have soft relay switching, which is something that's um, almost
People like
unimaginable.
that now.
I like it quite a bit. I understand the folks who like to feel that click. I don't feel as attached to that, and I really like the soft feel.
I feel like if there's an LED, I don't really care if there's a click.
If there's an LED, it certainly doesn't matter as much. And if what you're playing is so subtle that you can't tell that you turned it on, why? Is that rude?
No, it's not rude. But I think yeah, I don't know. I've never really had that problem or that concern. My bigger problem is hitting stuff when I wasn't supposed to.
So, I know all of that to say, I think that's just a lot of like things that are jumbling around in my head that make me go, I think this is actually really smart. I think that fits that really nice balance at the price point and the feature set between I want something that's going to do the job, but I also want something that that I'm going to get a decent resale value out of, that I know is going to be reliable, that there's going to be it's JHS. JHS has that little bit of that it factor of like, I am a JHS pedal owner. And there's something that comes with that. And same with all the other boutique brands. There's something nice about that. Not a lot of people feel that way about TC Electronics. So I think this hits a really nice niche here. And I don't care about that as much in sense for what that means for JHS. I wish them well, but I'm not like, yay, JHS. Like I don't know. I'm not as emotionally invested in their success as a company as I am with other companies. But what I am invested in is wanting there to be more accessible options on the market for people to be able to get into at a lower price point and to be able to experience at least a decent level of quality and to be able to participate. And because a lot of beginners are women, a lot of beginners are, I mean, just
young people, like
yes,
teenagers. And that's
yes,
such a big thing. Like, I mean, when I was a kid, I bought a couple Boss pedals and a couple of those Dan Electro Lunchbox series pedals because that was what I could afford.
right,
Like now, yeah, like if I would really want to splurge with my hard-earned money, I can buy the expensive pedals. But back then, no, it was like, oh gosh, how am I ever going to be able to afford a chorus pedal?
right. And
Lunchbox series.
I've definitely felt that stress through because I started really getting serious about electric when I was in college, and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't afford to buy a hot dog and wiener schnitzel.
Yeah, you've told us that story.
I told you the story, and
Puppy.
hi, sweetie. I definitely like several times. It was like not abnormal. Like get to the grocery checkout line and like I would shop as I'm walking around the grocery store, like adding up items in my cart, going, okay, I'm at $36. I can't go above 50, and like kind of doing that math in my head and getting up there and watching the checkout line, going, we're gonna put this back. I can't afford that. I've been there so many times,
So you
but
go to the grocery
also
store and you're like, just stop it at $45.
right, whatever makes it
please.
across.
Yeah. I've put it down in the order of importance, and if it does not, if I have to cut it off at some point, I'll do it. Like they're not, and just for the record, there's literally no shame in doing that. A lot of people do it. A lot of people have done it, and grocery clerks are pretty used to it. So
Yeah, I never felt like I was getting the kind of look from anybody.
yeah,
But
which is
I mean,
yeah, nobody cares.
that's when I was getting into guitar. And I know that I'm not alone in that. Hi, sweetie. You want some pets? Yeah. So I think this is kind of that nice in between. Like as a parent, I'm not going to buy my child a $300 reverb pedal for Christmas. $100 maybe.
Yeah.
So
under 100.
But under 100, you're worried about you're buying trash. I mean, so that's where I'm looking at this and going, I think this is a really great opportunity. Like for the average guitarist, if you want it, great. But what this really gets me excited about is for the entry level folks, the folks that are trying to get into it, the folks that are exploring on a budget. And I think that's actually really neat. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Not one to wax and wane that much on JHS pedals. So I think they
for
did a good thing here.
For $100, you put your little Babadook sticker on it or whatever, and
yeah.
Or this machine surrounds hate and forces it to surrender sticker.
Aww.
Or your I've lost stickers.
I've got a
make noise, not war
sticker. I had a bag of stickers next to my workbench and I don't know where I put it, but I've got like a full gallon Ziploc bag of stickers.
I just keep them on like my desk until I'm ready to use them. It was Lance Giles from Dogman Device's birthday earlier this week. Happy belated
birthday, Lance.
Last week, happy belated birthday, Lance.
Lance, happy birthday.
Yeah.
This is your birthday song. It's not very long.
It's over now.
It's over. That was it.
Yeah. Speaking of that was it, is that a good place to wrap this?
Is that your way of saying this is it? Yeah, it's probably not a bad place to wrap things up.
This is it. Please check us out on Patreon, getoffset.com, patreon.com/getoffset. Check out getoffsetpodcast.com/shop for merch. Please rate and review on iTunes. That's huge for us. Subscribe on the YouTube. Also huge for us. Check out Andrew's Fox Cairo. Check out my band. Check out my song, Old Growth on the Violet compilation. My band Sunday Crush, our album is available for pre-order at donutsounds.com. But thanks for listening. Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily.
One more thing to add to your list of things that you need to do this week. Buy something orange. My name is Andrew. Bye.
All right, ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
You can't hurt me.
No, End it.
I'm gonna
End it
stop
now.
it.